Hey everybody, I'm Eric, and this is Today I Watched 2019, Week 2, Part 1, and I'm talking about Monday Night Raw, episode 1337. You would have thought that this would be the best episode of all time with that numbering there, but it was just alright. It was just alright. We opened with Seth going crazy backstage, attacking Lashley, and it spilled out into the ring. That got contained or whatever. John Cena comes out and he announces he's going to join the Royal Rumble, but then Drew McIntyre challenges John Cena. The brawl breaks out. Lashley and Seth end up out there, and Dean end up out there, and Finn comes out. And we end up with a 6-on-6 tag team match, and all of this and the match itself took up about 45 minutes of the first hour. Seth eventually wins via a high stomp to Dean Ambrose, which he hits it very similarly in the main event. It's like there's some elevation. The head, Dean's head, started at a very high place, like above Seth's hips. So it was quite the travel on that stomp. But anyway, Seth is so mad afterwards. We see Triple H backstage talking to Bayley and Sasha for some reason. We don't see what they're talking. We don't hear what they're talking about or anything. But Seth storms back there and demands a match for the Intercontinental Championship with Dean Ambrose tonight. And Triple H says, "Yeah, okay, welcome back," because he's all like fired up and stuff. But it's gonna be a Falls Count Anywhere match. So that's in the main event, so we'll get there in just a moment. This is going to be a very short episode, I think. I don't have like a whole bunch of extra stuff to talk about. Except, real quick, I am going to try to catch up. Part 4 of this week, I'm planning on being a very broad overview of the next 6 episodes of NXT UK leading into Blackpool this weekend. And then I'll post an episode about Blackpool on Sunday. Probably Sunday. Okay, anyway. Next we had Hulk Hogan come out and present a tribute to Mean Gene Okerlund. So I thought that was pretty well done. The tribute itself and the Hulk's presentation of it was pretty good too. Next, we had a lumberjack match between the Revival and the Road Warriors, Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. I'm not really sure why this was a lumberjack match. I feel like there wasn't a problem with people just leaving the match before. So that was kind of a strange thing, except it was nice to see all the other tag teams. In a way, it was nice to see all the other tag teams, but at the same time, it's like, oh, that's all there is as far as the other tag teams. Were AOP out there? I didn't even notice. I don't know. I know Heath Slater and Rhino were out there for sure, and the Lucha House Party. But anyway, it was for the tag team championships. Revival versus the Road Warriors, as I said. And Bobby Roode helped Gable reverse a roll up, and they got the win despite, I think it was Wilder had his foot hooked right there on the rope, and the ref didn't see it at all. So it's going to lead to another rematch probably. Perhaps it'll be a no disqualifications type of thing, or how do you counteract the ref just not doing their job very well? Making it no disqualifications or something like that. Making an extreme match, something like that. Seems like it's more punishing the performers than it is punishing the referee for missing that. So I guess we'll see what happens there. Then we had Elias versus Baron Corbin. Corbin won via the end of days. That's all there is to say about that, I think. We had the Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar segment with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman backstage, and then Lesnar says, "Hey, you know what? Let's go out and see what he has to say," because he's not saying what he has to say very well over the screens here. So he goes out there, just walks around the ring, and then leaves again. So that happened. The idea of that is entertaining, but actually watching it was kind of entertaining too. But at the same time, it would have been nice to see something happen. But we'll see them go head to head at the Royal Rumble. It's probably gonna be the main event. No, the Royal Rumble is. I guess I could check back and look at the cards on there, because the Women's Royal Rumble was the main event last year. So I don't know if that'll be the main event again this year, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what order everything happens. But also this year we're gonna have other actual women's matches, because there weren't any other women's matches at Royal Rumble last year. It's only the Rumble itself, with the champions looking on, which is Charlotte and Alexa at the time, I believe. This year, Ronda and Asuka will be defending their championships in their own singles matches. So we have those two matches to look forward in addition to the Rumble at this year. So that's good. No, we're not there yet. Not quite there yet. We have one more segment before I get there. That would have been a nice segue into a moment of bliss. But first, there is a mixed tag team match. Alicia Fox and Jinder Mahal took on Apollo Crews and Ember Moon. Ember Moon won the match via an eclipse. There was some fun stuff before the match with Alicia trying to do the Shanti and all that. Then we had a moment of bliss with her guest Ronda, and Ronda has praise for Sasha, talking about how much talent she has and all that. And Alexa says, "I thought you were talking about me." Nia comes out making a gross sound, like I think she was clearing her throat. Except there is actually stuff to be cleared in her throat. I don't know. She comes out, is mad. Sasha comes out, and she's pretty happy. And she challenges Nia to a contenders match, which I guess is okay. I didn't get any mention at all. Triple H agreed to make that match for Seth. But the entire rest of this episode, there's no mention of them having any involvement in making these matches. It's like basically seemed like people just making the matches for themselves. Because Sasha challenges Nia, and so we have a match. Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks. The winner will face Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. And there's a brutal like Hurricane Rana type thing that Sasha hit Nia off of the apron. And I don't know if it went how it was supposed to go, but it looked very, very painful for Sasha and not painful at all for Nia. But right after that, she got Nia into the Banks statement and won the match. So we will see Sasha Banks versus Ronda Rousey at the Royal Rumble. That match should be pretty good. Because I've said this before, many people have said this before, time and time again, that so many people's best match is against Sasha Banks, and we haven't seen a one-on-one match between Sasha and Ronda yet. So this could be Ronda's best match yet. Pretty much every match has been her best match so far. Like her matches are getting better and better. But it's still no. That's not true. Her most recent match at TLC was not better than her match against Charlotte at what was that? At Survivor Series. Because that was her best match so far. But anyway, I am looking forward to that. It's just 2 weeks away basically now. 2 more episodes of Raw before the Royal Rumble. So I'm looking forward to that. As far as regular matches go, and whoever fights Asuka, the 2 women's matches are going to be awesome. Because tomorrow night we're going to have a triple threat between Carmella, Charlotte, and Becky to determine Asuka's opponent. So we'll see what happens there. I'll talk about it in tomorrow's episode. And then our main event, Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. They end up backstage very quickly. It's a falls count anywhere. After commercial break, they end up back inside the ring, and after hitting a curb stomp, another high altitude curb stomp, like I mentioned before, Bobby Lashley attacks. Dean wins, retains the championship, and Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush continue the attack. They bring out a table and put Seth through it. So that summarizes this episode of Raw. Not as I was hoping for a big step up. Now they're back in the live shows. It's still it seems like it gets a little bit better each week. But we'll see where it goes. I feel like the biggest jump in quality is going to come at the Royal Rumble, because that's kind of like where they can hit a sort of reset, like a hard reset. Not even like a reset, but like, oh, here's where everything stands. We're still in the kind of like the muddy waters of the Baron Corbin era. Let's not make that a thing. So we'll see what happens. I'm hopeful for the Royal Rumble to be awesome, and then the shows, particularly Raw, can go from there as being very good. But we'll see. SmackDown is going to be awesome tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to that. And I also want to recommend a show that is now. So here is a segment of Cream of the Stream, because it is now available on Hulu. I've only watched like 3 episodes, I think, so far. Lodge 49. It's an AMC show, and let me pull up the cast here. It stars Wyatt Russell, who you may have seen in Everybody Wants Some or Overlord. Both of those movies are fantastic. I recommend them. He's the main character. His name is Dud. Well, that's not his full name. It's his last name. His nickname is Dud. His last name is Dudley. And he's let's see. Let me just read the IMDb description of the show, because I don't really know how to describe it very well without like giving away a bunch of stuff. So his name is Sean Dudley. Ernie Fontaine is one of the characters. Liz Dudley is Ernie Fontaine is the character, played by Brent Jennings. His sister, played by Sonia Cassidy. There's just a bunch of great people in this. David Pasquesi. He's awesome in it. But anyway, it looks like it's renewed for season 2. That's awesome. And it's created by Jim Gavin. So here on IMDb, Dud finds himself deposited by fate at the doorstep of Lodge 49, a dusty fraternal order that offers cheap beer and strange alchemical philosophies. So, it's kind of like it's funny. It's a dramedy for sure. You could classify it as that there's some serious stuff going on, but also lots of funny stuff going on. But it doesn't really, it never really goes, it's not like wacky. It is a little bit wacky. I don't know. Go check it out if you have Hulu. It is on there now, and I highly recommend it so far. I might check in later on once I finish watching this first season if it ends up not being so good. But if you don't hear otherwise, I will talk about it if I do enjoy the rest of it as well. But so that's it. Let me know what you thought about Lodge 49 and this week's episode of Raw by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TI. That's so hard to say it like that. It should be easier to say. because to today or to TI, they're both hard. Go to tiwpodcast.com for more episodes. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, review on iTunes, subscribe in other places. You can also listen on YouTube. Give a like, a comment, whatever on there if you so wish. And stay tuned for more here on Today I Watched. Bye.